Hey everybody, I am live again at Baron Mini. The last live stream went pretty well, so I thought I would do another one. So not anybody in here right now, but I'm sure people will start popping in here and there a little bit. I'm sure my friends over in, where else? Where were they last time? Spain, Croatia, I think New Zealand, I think UK, where else? Turkey. I'm sure you guys are going to pop in here at some point, but I'm hoping some local folks will pop in here, and maybe some folks around the US, because I have an interesting car here and the sales manager wants to get rid of it. It has been here for a while and he's offering a really awesome discount. I mean, if I had the money to do it, I would have bought this car already, but I don't have that kind of money yet. So I'll show you the car in just a little bit, but I'm sitting in it right now. It's a 2019 Mini Cooper S Clubman All-4 with a John Cooper Works tuning kit that was put on in the port, and it is a Central Region package. Now, if you've seen a video circulating around YouTube, there is a special edition that was built specifically for Florida that is a Starlight Blue Cooper S convertible with a JCW body kit on it. And that's kind of the similar kind of thing. They've been doing these special editions that they just send to the specific region. So like the southeastern region and the central region and northeastern region and so on and so forth. So this one is one of several that was made for the central region. And this dealership had two of them at one point. And there's only one left on the lot. It's an automatic, but it's an 8-speed automatic, sport automatic. Paddle shifters. It has a leather-wrapped steering wheel, JCW steering wheel, leatherette interior with power seats, so it's really comfortable. Has Harman Kardon sound system. Does not have touchscreen navigation, but does have mini connected. Does have the backup camera. Does have all the other bells and whistles for the most part. Great car though, but I'm going to show it to you in just a second here. So I'm going to hop out of this car and we're going to start walking around it. So give you guys a tour of the vehicle. And I'm going to flip the camera around just a second here. So here it is. Now, some of you know that I have a video that went live at 2 o'clock for the redesign for the 2020 Mini Clubman. So this is a 2019 Clubman. And I can also talk to you a little bit about the redesign as well, as you've seen those pictures, I'm sure, by now. So you can kind of compare it to what the 2019 looks like. So it has the black rally lights. Has some black scuttles or black vents down there. Lots of chrome, but you could black it out if you wanted to. Black, I think they're 17s. Yeah, black 17-inch wheels. Pro exhaust. And I think if I change the sound, there it is. You can kind of hear it. Carbon fiber exhaust tips. So, pretty cool. And of course, plenty of room for your family in the back. Now, what's cool that I noticed is, I think this is a USB-C or a USB compact, but down here, there's new charging ports. Apologize for the dirtiness. It's been test driven several times. So, there's that, which is kind of interesting. Plenty of room, actually. I'm fitting just comfortably in the back seat of this car, which is rather impressive. But it's a nice vehicle overall. And we go to the engine. I'll show you this in a second. So, most of you know that the Cooper S has a 189 horsepower engine. What the tuning kit does is it ups the horsepower on the car from 189. So here's the tuning kit label right there. And then the label right here on the engine shroud. It ups the horsepower from 189 to 210. Now, that's pretty good. Then if you really wanted to, you could add a Dynon Elite tune to it, which is about a $1,000 upgrade, and you get 254 horsepower, or about 250 horsepower, give or take. You get a lot more horsepower out of the Dynon tune on one of these, and that's pretty impressive as well. So it's pretty cool. This has the dynamic damper control as well. I've driven several cars with this suspension system, and it's fantastic. Really absorbs the bumps, not like the previous generation of Minis where it was a little bit of a harsh ride. And this is how new this car is. They haven't even removed the plastic on the emblem on the engine. And these are the LED rally lights. I need a set of these for my Clubman. But the other thing about these is, as you know, they don't have a handbrake. They have a parking brake button. So that's not terrible though, but nice center console here. Double center console, so you can stick your iPhone in there, I guess, there, and then stick whatever else you want to put in there. I got the key right here. And as some of you know, you push this button, opens one door, push it again, opens the other door. Here are the all-weather floor mats that come with the vehicle. So if you're like me and you live in a climate that gets a lot of snow, you can have that. These are the rally lights that were installed. If you live in a state that has a front license plate requirement, there's the bracket so you can install that. And then here's the box that contained the Bluetooth switch for the tuning kit, which is right here in my hand. So this is a Bluetooth tuning, or this is a Bluetooth trigger for the Pro exhaust, and it basically opens a valve in the exhaust system. So if you can look in there, you see that, I think you can see a butterfly, but watch when I do this. There it is. Opens it up. So it's a twin tailpipe. Only one of them has the valve, of course. Now, some of you might wonder what this is. I learned about this. You see these black plastic pieces here? This is because in the US, we don't have the long license plates that you find in Europe. So this is to compensate for that, so you can fit a normal US license plate on the back of the car, because these don't exist in Europe. Also, as you know, the 2016 to 2019 models, this was the brake light right here. And for 2020, they've moved the brake light up here. But when the doors are open, these function as brake lights still. So at least the brake lights are now up in the top so we can actually see them. But I did notice that when you're in a panic situation, when you hit the brakes, the upper lights will light up. And also on the new ones, they've gone Union Jack with the tail lights too. So, elongated gas cap. Now, some of you don't know, this is to refill this spot right here if you were in Europe and you have the diesel. Some of you with the diesels would know what goes right here actually. As far as four-door minis go, this is one of my favorites. I prefer the Clubman really as far as four doors. Now, anyway, I know this is a video where I was going to talk to you a little bit about this car being for sale. It is for sale. The sticker price, it has signature trim package on it as well. It's in white silver with a black roof. The sticker price on this was $42,950. The sales manager is willing to knock $7,000 off the sticker price, bringing it down to $35,950, which puts it in a good price point for what you're getting. This is a lot of car. And it's a beautiful car, actually. I'm a big fan of it. I like this color too. I don't know why. I almost bought a Cooper S in this color. Not a Cooper S. I almost bought a JCW in this color when I had my car accident last year, but I couldn't afford it. I should have bought it. It's a nice color though. Now, I turned the Pro exhaust on. Let's see if it's still on so I can see if I can get it to rev. Yep. I wish I had someone out here to rev the engine for me. But I'm hoping you guys can hear this when I rev the engine. So we'll find out here in a second. You hear that? Okay, yeah, I like that sound. me see if I can actually set the phone out there so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So let's see here. I'm gonna set the phone right. Well, it shut itself. All right, there we go. Hold on. There it is. How did you like that? Do you think the two tunes have discussed are safe? The JCW tuning kit is a dealer installed tuning kit, or it's a dealer installed tuning kit, so it is safe and it's covered by warranty. The Dynan Elite tune is also a dealer installed tuning kit and is covered by the warranty. So if you want to do one over the other, the Dynan will give you more horsepower over the JCW, but the JCW tuning kit will include the the JCW tuning kit will include the Pro exhaust on the Cooper S. So they're both very safe tuning kits and they're designed for the car, so I wouldn't worry about it too much with these cars. Plus it's a BMW engine and those are BMW tunes, so we know they're safe. Just opening the hood again for you all. If I haven't mentioned already, they dropped, on the 2020 models, they lowered the suspension on the cars by about 10 millimeters if you have sport suspension. So, not quite a half-inch drop, but it does make a little bit of a difference if you look at it. These won't have that lowered suspension, I don't think, because of the adjustable or adaptive damper control. I don't know if I missed any other comments while I had the phone sitting out on the curb so you guys could hear the exhaust. But what do you all think of this car? Pretty nice? I'm probably not gonna be able to convince any of you to come out here and buy it, but if I had the money, I would do it myself. So I think on the torque on these engines, it's 189 horsepower normally, and I think it's 205, 206 foot-pounds of torque. You're buying yours today? Awesome, what'd you get? Or what are you gonna get? Same model you're reviewing? Oh, cool. You're gonna love it. They're a fun vehicle. It's really odd though, the Clubman kind of became the, if you don't mind me saying, the bastard stepchild when the Countryman came out. Because this was the biggest Mini at one point. And then the Countryman came out and it became second fiddle to the Countryman, so I still think the Clubman is a good-looking vehicle. I love this car. I've actually done at least 2 videos, maybe 3 videos with this car on my channel, so, or it might have been the one that sold, actually. Are you getting the same color, Jared? Or did you pick something different? Thunder Gray, good color. I like that color. Yeah, the white silver is pretty nice. If you notice though, with a lot of these Minis, they don't have stripes on them. There's a reason for that. This dealership does not order the cars with stripes. If you know of a guy named Todd Pearson, motoringstripes.com, or if you listen to White Roof Radio, that's the guy that does all the vinyl work on every single Mini at this dealership. So he did the stripes on my car. He's done the stripes on almost every single car in Kansas, every single Mini in Kansas City. And I'm sure whoever buys this car, he'll do some stripes for it as well. I'm thinking maybe 2 Viper stripes right down the middle. Or even some classic stripes on it. Maybe he should black out the belt line too. What do you think? Black door handles possibly as well. Or do you all like the chrome? What is your opinion on chrome? Do you like chrome? Do you not like chrome? Do you think it should be banished? You think that would look good? Not too much chrome? Yeah, I'd agree on that. I like my car for a little less chrome. I did leave my chrome door handles in place, but and my chrome belt line, but I de-chromed the front end of the car. They've offered a lot of new blackout stuff for the 2020 models. You can black out the badging. You can black out the taillight trim rings even. Here's something I didn't notice and this might mess with you guys if you have OCD like I do. See the Clubman badging here? It's not perfectly symmetrical on the back. And the reason for that is the B would be right in the middle of the doors. So the Clubman badging is actually asymmetrical on the back of the car. And you can really see it if you look carefully. So now that I've messed with your OCD out there, you might want to debadge it. You could always delete the Clubman badging. I mean, people know that it's a Clubman. What's funny though is people like to think of this car as a station wagon because of the body styling. And yeah, I can kind of get that, but if you honestly were to put it next to a Volkswagen GTI, and I've done this before, this car is smaller than a GTI. Hard to believe, but it actually is smaller than a GTI. But I actually think this car is easier to get into than a GTI. You like the Clubman badge? Oh, the Brits like anything with a Clubman on it. I'm just teasing you. I don't know. A lot of things. People like to complain that this car is too big, or that the Countryman's too big. People do need to understand that, yes, I think they're a little bit bigger, but people need to understand that Mini's not a model anymore. Mini's a brand. And when it becomes a brand, it kind of has to grow. And in this case, it did. Now, one of the things I noticed with the restyling of the Clubman for 2020 is you notice how it looks very much like the regular hardtops with the front end. It just looks like a stretched version. With the new grille and some of the new exterior styling, they made it look less like a stretched and widened hardtop and made it look more like its own car. Because you notice how the Countryman doesn't look like the hardtop and it doesn't look like the Clubman. It looks like its own car. So they're making the Clubman give it more of an identity. The odd thing is, if you've seen the video, they redesigned the mirror caps as well. They actually kind of squared them off just a little bit too. So they kind of have a more square look to them. So this does have the leatherette interior. Now, I know some of you like cloth and I know some of you like real leather, but hear me out on this. The reason why the leatherette is so good is because it's durable. I have a friend with a leatherette interior and his car is about 10 years old and the leatherette still looks good, still looks new. So if you want leatherette and if you want a durable interior, it's going to last a long time, this leatherette's not bad. And the sport buckets are phenomenal. I love the sport buckets. They are really supportive and just very comfortable. This is a thing that's a BMW feature actually. This piece here, you pull it out, give your legs a rest while you're on a long trip. So I'm over here on the passenger side, or if you're in England, on the driver's side. But we're in the US, so it's the passenger side. Other thing I've noticed, on the larger vehicles, or at least the four-door Minis, They went from frameless doors to frame doors, as you can see here. And what I've noticed about these is it does take out the wind noise when you're on the highway, because there's actually a door sealing against the frame of the car. So I noticed that the Clubman, the Countryman, and even the four-door hardtop are a lot quieter than the two-door and convertible. And also the windows are tinted, if you didn't notice. This is not a factory tint. This is a dealer installed tint. They do this at the dealership to give the cars make the cars a little bit nicer. They also put nitrogen in the tires too. So you'll see the little green caps there. But for those of you just joining me, this is an all-4 Clubman at Bear and Mini in Merriam, Kansas, and it is for sale, and it's $7,000 off sticker price if anyone wants it. And this is good until midnight on Wednesday. So Wednesday morning, it's no longer $7,000 off the sticker price. Plenty of cargo space. That's what I like about it. You can carry anything in these cars. So any of you who are just getting a Clubman or have a Clubman, are there any questions you have on the F54 Clubman? Anything particularly you want to know about this particular car? Or the platform in general? I'll show you some of the gauges while I'm waiting here. So this is my Mini. So vehicle status. Gives you all the information on the car. You can check the tire pressure, oil levels. 0 to 60. 0 to 60 times in this one, I think, is about 6.2, 6.3 seconds, give or take. It might be a little bit quicker with the tuning kit. I don't know 100% off the top of my head right now. I had it written down somewhere, and I misplaced it. This is also with the 8-speed automatic over the 6-speed manual. Technology in motion, in action. What's this? Okay, we got minimalism. We got sport displays. There we go. Now we're cooking. Sport instruments, vehicle, and surroundings. Don't know if you ever saw that before. Engine temperatures are okay. How do you switch between modes? Okay. So if you have some of the earlier years of Mini Clubman when they came out, when the F54 came out, the way to shift driving modes used to be a trim ring right here. You'd actually toggle it one way for sport, then mid, and then green. Now they moved it to a toggle switch on the dashboard right here. So I have it this is the toggle switch, at least in this car. I currently have it in sport mode, but if I flip it down, it would put it in eco or mid mode, and then flip it down again, it would put it in green or eco mode. But I tend to always drive my Minis in sport mode just because it's a little bit more fun, and I like the pops and burbles coming out of the tailpipes. Also has a climate control system that's currently not on right now. It's a nice day out in Kansas, so I figured I'd shut it off. Also, I think since 2017, you're welcome. Also, since 2017, 2018, I think. I'm not sure if my Clubman does sport mode. Is your Clubman a F54S or Cooper? Because if it's a Cooper base model, they discontinued the Cooper. Okay. Yeah, Mini discontinued the driving modes in the base model Cooper, at least for the US market. I don't know if they did that in the UK market as well, but they got rid of it in the Cooper for the US market. So now the only way you can get driving modes is go to Cooper S or John Cooper Works. That being said, if you have a manual gearbox in your Cooper, you're going to have just as much fun driving it. I've had fun driving a few on the lot. And if you have the automatics like this, you can still put it in a sport automatic mode, and you can manually shift it. You just won't have the paddle shifters, which are a JCW and a Cooper S thing right here. Yours is an auto? Yeah, so you'll have a 6-speed automatic. And this is the 8-speed automatic right here. Now, I know they redesigned the shifter, which we're going to get that one eventually. They're all still very fun to drive regardless if you don't have driving modes or not. But it is something that I enjoy having if I have it in one of the cars that I'm driving. What I don't know, and one of you in one of the other markets might know, what is this switch for? There's a blank right here, and we don't have that here in the US. None of the cars I've been in have anything in that switch. So I don't know what it is. There's another blank up here above it as well. So there must be something that we have that we don't have in the US market that you all get in the UK or European market. So I'm not sure what it is. But anyway, this also has power seats. Now, if you're the kind of person who likes to go racing, power seats are a little on the heavy side, but this is kind of cool up here. This is breaking away from the Mini for a little bit. This is an i8 Roadster right here in front that these two salespeople are getting ready to drive away in. Well, salesperson and customer. So, little known fact about the i8 Roadster, actually. The powertrain in the i8 is actually the inverse of the Countryman Hybrid. So, take the same 3-cylinder engine and electric motors and turn it and flip it around, and that's what you have in the i8. And then, of course, more horsepower. So, paddle shifters as well. What I love about the current generation of Minis is when they put in the automatic flat paddle gearbox here, they actually put a minus and a plus, and I don't think, yeah, you can't pull them like you could in the previous ones. You can only pull it towards you, so you can actually downshift with one and upshift with the other, and that's the only way you can do it in these cars. They also, apparently people complained the fuel gauge wasn't legible, so they made it more legible. Now, I've also heard they're going to be going to a digital display or a digital tack here at some point, so it's going to be kind of a oblong or an oval kind of shape here, where you're going to have your tack and your speedometer and your fuel gauge, and you can actually change it, mix and match if you need to as well. Not the typical round vents like you find in the hardtops. LED lighting. Now, here's something you might not know about the lighting. Now, some of you know that you can flip this toggle switch right here and you can change the colors. Let's see if I can change the color right there on the dash. Yep, so I got green, I got red, I got purple, I got blue, light blue. Now, here's another thing here's something you might not know, and I'm gonna see if this will work. So I'm gonna hold it, see if I can get to flash. And it's doing it. Yep, I call this disco mode. This is where the lighting just keeps cycling through and changing color. Just keeps cycling and changing color. Something you might not know. Now, if you have an R56 generation Mini or an F56 generation Mini, and you flip that switch and you hold it for 10 seconds, it'll blink sometimes, and it'll do this as well. So it just keeps cycling through colors, so you can keep changing your colors. So, pretty cool. Oh, I love that sound of the car. But anyway, we're getting ready to wrap up here, so I'm gonna hold this phone here while I put this car back. So we're gonna go put the car back. In EU, it's for parking sensor. Oh, okay, so you can dismiss the parking sensor. All right. Cool. Didn't know that. Well, hey everybody, I'm going to get off the video and I'm going to park this car and then head back inside, but I want to thank you all for watching the video, and as always, life is too short to drive a boring car, so drive a Mini. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this second live stream that I did. I'm going to try to figure out another interesting topic to do for the next one. Obviously, I probably won't be at the dealership doing that one because I think trying to sell cars for the sales manager doesn't work, and I don't actually work for the dealership, so I'm just a brand ambassador, but I'm also